The Oimek Inyan Azay is going to explain. One of my favorite Nesiv Shaloms, Nesaba Kadisha. The pasuk says in Mishlei, Musar Hashem b'ni altemas, v'al toichach b'toichachtoi. Musar Hashem, when the Eibishter gives you Musar, altemas, don't get famious, disgusted from it. V'al tokoitz b'toichachtoi. When Hashem gives you toichach, it hurts a little bit. Don't get like upset at him and all angry. Why? Ki es asher yahav Hashem yochiach. Because Hashem chastises those who He loves, Avos ben Yirtzeh, and He wants it to be like a father-son relationship, that when a little kid is crying because his tati says, you have to go to bed, but he trusts that he's my father and he means my benefit. And he wants that relationship. He's not trying to hurt you. Says the Heilige Saba Kadisha Mislanim, Musar Hashem b'ni altemas. Musar Hashem, you know, the biggest musar from Hashem. HaMusar she'HaKadosh Baruch Hu omer liyehudi hu Musar Hashem. The musar that Hashem gives you is bini. Instead of Musar Hashem bini, Musar Hashem my child, that He's giving to His child. He's saying, you know what the musar is? Bini, my son. Hari bini hincha, you're my child. Ben HaMelech, you're the son of a king. Melech Malchei Hamlachim. Act like it. That's the greatest musar. We're not like the Goyim, even though we could be in businesses and we feel like we're like them, and they got a boat, so we got to get a boat, and they got a Tesla, so we got to get a Tesla, and we got a Lexus, so we're competing with the Goyish world. We're very affected by the Goyish world and even the Yiddish world. The musar from Hashem is, Bini, you're my son. Al timas atzmacha b'dvarim ma'usim. Don't farmius yourself. Don't lower your standards. Don't make yourself disgusted by doing things that don't pass. How do you say that in English? They aren't befitting for a ben melech of Hashem. If you're the son of a gadol adar, you're the son of Reb Chaim Kanievsky, you can't act like a regular guy whose father is a regular balabas. The same action, the same thing. Imagine he's the gadol adar of Chaim Kanievsky. Imagine you see his son, and he goes to a parlor meeting at a barbecue on a cruise for a great tzedakah, and he has rolling a big fat cigar, and he has a $300 wine. You're going to look at him. You're going to say, wow, what a distance between him and his father. Why? Where's the Aveira? No Aveira. Big mitzvah, maybe. He's coming, you see him lying on there like this, and you'll say, what a difference between that and Reb Chaim Kanievsky. What a difference between that and the Stipler Hazeda. What are Yeridus Hadairis? We're Ben Hashem. What about our Yeridus Hadairis? Our distance between Hashem, who is no shaykhis to Gashmias. He put us in and we need Gashmias. But to be so Magushim in Gashmias? It's Musar Hashem, the greatest Musar is Bini, you're my son. It's not for you. Don't go play in the sandbox. Don't get messed up with forgetting who you are and what's important to you, to me, to us. Don't get stuck in Olam Hazeh. The Goyim, they don't really believe in Olam Haba. So this is all they got. This is all they got. They got to enjoy it to the max. But we believe that this is a whole way of praise there, that we're going to be going back home in whatever years. And then for eternity, we're going back to our Avos HaKadoshim, our great-grandparents, and to Hashem, and for eternity. And over there, all of this stuff, it just drops away. It's meaningless. Just like your body deteriorates, just your neshama goes up with your mitzvahs. The car you drove is really meaningless. Yeah, you need to get a decent car, but it's not eternal. There's no I don't know if this is a word, eternitality. And we're supposed to be eternal. So the Goyim are playing in the sandbox. This is so important. Whoa, I got this and I got that. And fine, don't get stuck in that. We're just passing through. You know the story of the Chavetz Chaim. Somebody asked the Chavetz Chaim, he's a very rich man, and he went into the Chavetz Chaim Gadol Adar. You know, you can imagine what that's like. I believe it says that his floor was dust. It didn't have like a floor and a rickety table. And what did he need? By the way, I think it's super cool to not need. Some of the coolest people I've ever met are people that they could afford it and they just don't need it. I mean, it's just. I look at them like, you're not stuck in all of this. It's so cool. It's so cool. One of the richest Jewish men. His net worth starts with a B. The big B. Okay? And I saw him driving an old car. And he comes out. He's wearing a regular suit. He's wearing an old hat. And he's a very classy person. And I'm like, that is so cool. You're like so rich and you're so above. You don't need the fanciest car. You don't need every week another car. You have nothing to prove to anybody. You have a B. It's like, you don't need a yacht. You know, you don't need to own a yacht. If he wants a yacht, he could rent a yacht. I don't even know if he flies first class. Forget about private jet. But what's wrong? What's wrong? You don't realize that you don't realize, besides for Hashem, the really rich people, not the Goyim, the Jews, it's like, besides what you could do with your money. No, but I give tzedakah. Doesn't work like that. But I give a chaimish, beautiful, you're a tzaddik. You have so much to learn. But what am I supposed to do with the money? Different shmooze. Don't get me sucked into it. I'm getting pulled into it. No, it's a different shmooze. I will say one thing. You don't know what your grandchildren are going to have. You don't know what your great-grandchildren are going to have. I've seen people who are very, very wealthy, top 10, whose grandchildren or great-grandchildren, their mamas don't have. Put it away. Yeah, but I need... Put it away. Also, ayin hara, do you really need to be... And do you really think everybody cares? When you go to somebody else who makes the most incredible wedding, they rent like an auditorium, they rent a Javits Center, and they make a thing. What do you leave saying? Wow. So impressed, really? So you're impressed for 5 minutes. I've seen really rich people make such like weddings that are like regular, you know? And to give their children the extra $500,000 to buy a house or to invest, to have less pressure or something. There's so much more to do with the... I've seen people make a simple wedding and make 20 other weddings for Yusaimim, Almanas, children of Almanas. Yeah. So Hashem's biggest musar is, you're my son. Like, what are you playing in this? You're playing in the sandbox with a goyim? I gave you a lot of money to do good things with, and you have extra money, and you're really becoming so magushim that you have to have a custom tailored suit. There is no, you can't even go to Emporio. Like, that's not good enough. You can't even go to Saks Fifth Avenue. You have to, and your kids, you're training your kids for this. It's the worst chinuch in the world. There's no Aveira mentioned here. It's just... So they went to Chavetz Chaim, this guy, and he tells the Chavetz Chaim, where's your furniture? So Chavetz Chaim told him, where's your furniture? So he tells him, I'm just traveling. I'm just passing through. Right? There's a song about this. I'm just passing through. What do I need to bring all my furniture? Chavetz Chaim said, I'm also just passing through. We're passing through. Yes, you were blessed. You have money. You're making money. God bless you. First of all, the biggest thing would be is if nobody knows. Nobody has to know. Your children should not know. They should know 1% life got a little bit easier. You could have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and then afterwards tuna fish also. Take your kids and spoil them that they're used to that living, which you don't know that they're going to have. And that this becomes the standard for them. It's like the worst mean chinuch. It's mean. It's past for a pashita goy. That's what past behavior. Just like, don't curse. I remember in Home Sweet Home, these kids would curse like a drunken sailor. And I didn't curse. And there was one of the volunteers, he tried to look cool, so he would curse. And they told me privately, we don't like this guy. Why? He said, he curses, he says inappropriate things. I said, but that's what you do. They said, but that's not what we want to be when we get older. They didn't look up to him. He wasn't a dugma ishi. He wasn't a model that they want to follow to be like him. Why? What did he do wrong? What did he do wrong? He acted like them. And then one kid said, he talks like a truck driver. I'm like, that's the way you talk. I didn't say it. They know it's not. They know it's not. So it's on both ways. In the low part, don't do what they do. Don't get drunk. Don't be a drunk. Don't be a gambler. Don't curse. Don't be into it. You do Averis, do it quietly. Don't be proud of them. That's in the low part. And I think in the high part also, if you're doing well, say, thank you, Hashem. Thank you, Hashem. Quietly. Don't be like the Goyim. Don't act like they do, that they have to compete. Zeh Musar Hashem, Musar HaGadol VaChazik B'Yoser. There's no greater Musar. She'enoi Mashiroi Ba'oinshim. There's no threat of I'm going to hit you. Ve'ena Mitzava Olav, and there's no commandment. V'rak Mamidoi Amamadoi B'ni Al Timos. B'ni Ata Al Timos. Just standing you on your position. Now, we want the Torah, which we believe in, to dwell in me, and it can't dwell when you're not behaving for whatever reason. You're acting like a low life, or you're acting like a high life. It can't dwell in you. It doesn't dwell. It's like a repellent.